viewers, welcome to Addis Media Network, Addis TV English Weekly Program. On today's episode, we have a guest. His name is Emani, is a Swahili advocate. We will raise a range of issues regarding the economic importance of Swahili. Before that, let him give him a chance for him to introduce himself. Welcome, and can you please introduce yourself?
Thank you so much for inviting me here to the Addis TV to explain Swahili or to talk about Swahili. My name is Yohani Paulo Imani. In Swahili, in Amharic will be Johannes Paulos Eminence. I came from America to Ethiopia 7 months. It's almost about 8 months. Here I came to Ethiopia to advocate Swahili for Ethiopia and for Africa, but I'm also here today as a representative, or as a member of Africa United Initiative Organization / Ethiopian Swahili Community. Again, thank you so much for having me, brother.
It is my pleasure to have you here in Addis TV. Let me start from the introduction or the background part. Please tell us about the Swahili language. Where is the origin of Swahili? How many countries spoken it?
Yeah, thank you so much. When it comes to Swahili language, it's a little difficult to give exactly the countries or the number because it has different layers. But Swahili is being recognized as official language or third language at school in more than 21 countries now in Africa. Yes, 21 countries. Okay. We're gonna start from maybe the recent ones and goes forward to the oldest countries. So the recent one is Botswana. Botswana adopted Swahili in 2020, last year, and also Namibia adopted Swahili in 2020. Then it comes to South Africa in 2019. South Africa adopted Swahili, and then 2019 also all SADC countries, 16 countries adopted Swahili. Now later we go back to 2007 and 8, Rwanda, South Sudan, and Burundi, they adopted Swahili. And then you go a little back, you found Uganda and Kenya. They adopted Swahili around the 1970s. And then Congo DRC, we don't know when they adopted Swahili. And then it goes to Tanzania in 1962. That's when the first president of Tanzania, Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere, adopted Swahili to be a national language of Tanzania. So those are the countries that has adopted or announced it publicly that they teach Swahili at school, but also some of those countries are said that is national language of our country. Now there's other countries aside that people speak Swahili in those countries, maybe small numbers or huge numbers, but they have not officially announced about Swahili. And those countries start from Comoros. More than 90% of Comoros people speak Swahili, but country officially has not announced about Swahili to be taught at school or anything about Swahili. The second one will be Mozambique. In fact, Philip Nyusi, the president of Mozambique, speaks better Swahili than me. Mozambique people speak Swahili, then Malawi, and then Zambia, in North Zambia, then South Somalia, then North Madagascar, and then South Ethiopia, which is Moyale. So we have all those countries that have not announced about Swahili. But we cannot forget also our fellow people of African descendants in America, because they also speak Swahili. More than 200 students are sent to Tanzania to learn Swahili each year from America, from Howard University. So that's pretty much about the background of Swahili. But when it comes to where Swahili is most of spoken in which country or which areas, I would possibly say that it will be maybe 3 countries. 3 countries. Yes, the first one will be Tanzania, of course, because whole full of Tanzania, Swahili spoken is used all day long.
And then everybody speaks Swahili in Tanzania?
Everyone speaks Swahili. There is no one person who is from Tanzania does not speak Swahili. Of course, they speak their mother tongue languages as well.
Is that a working language?
It is working language, is official language, is everything language. Okay. Then it comes to Kenya. Kenya, huge part of Mombasa. Mombasa is the hub of Swahili. So that will be possibly another one. And then another one is Congo DRC. Most of eastern of Congo, people use Swahili in daily basics. So that's possibly where you can say Swahili is most of spoken in almost everything. But also Comoros as well. A lot of people speak Swahili in Comoros. So I think that answers your question.
Yeah, I think based on your explanation, I understood that the East African road or the East African region mostly speak the Swahili language, probably except Ethiopia. Anyways, there is a big plan to integrate East Africa, and as you have told me, this language has a big importance for strengthen the economic ties between these countries. So, what do you think, or what is the importance of this language for economic aspects of the region?
I think that our founder of African Union, our founder who gave us freedom from our colonial, they did not put the real importance of language ahead of us. But when you look the importance of Swahili economically, or the impacts of Swahili, or impacts of any language, in trade, you cannot trade with someone unless you speak the language. That's one. Number two, you can live in a bus from Nairobi, Kenya, that's in the east, all the way to Kinshasa, DRC. That is all the way to the west, the ocean. So you live one ocean to another one. And you can live from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania to Juba, South Sudan. You can live from Juba to Bujumbura in Burundi. You can live from Dar es Salaam to Bujumbura or to Kigali, Rwanda, or to Kampala, Uganda. So you can even live from Uganda, Kampala, all the way to Lusaka, Zambia in a bus. But you cannot live from Nairobi, Kenya to Addis Ababa, which is very, very close. So you can see the reason why there is no transportation available is because there is no language to use that. People in bus, they will be speaking Swahili. So if someone will leave from Ethiopia and going to Juba or going to Lusaka, Zambia in a bus, which language they're going to be speaking? And as you go,
They can't speak Amharic, and ours can't speak Swahili?
No, we're not going to communicate. Yeah. The communication is going to be off. And also, as you travel, it's more buying things. You're going to be eating. You're going to be maybe sleeping in a hotel. You're going to go around. So the importance of language in trade or in buying things is very unique. Let me give you another example. When it comes to tourism, Ethiopia should be among the highest number received tourists.
Yeah, exactly.
But we're not getting them. Why? Because people cannot really communicate in Ethiopia as easily as it's supposed to be.
Barrier.
Yes, there is language barriers, and we understand that. But when we talk also about tourism, we not only talk about tourism from outside of Africa. We also talk about tourism from inside Africa, because our people have money too. They should be able to come and visit Ethiopia, see the mountains of Ethiopia, see Lalibela, but they don't come. You not see many Africans who actually come to Ethiopia for tourism because there is a language barrier. So I think that language is a key to the economic or the change that we are looking for economically. Let me give you another example. Ethiopia is in planning to join East Africa Community. We know that. So the East Africa Community language, official language, is Swahili. So I think that if anyone want to join in the future, they should actually look the language. That's one. Number two, Ethiopia is planning to use Mombasa Seaport. Mombasa Seaport is in Mombasa. That is about economy, by the way, I'm talking about. So if Mombasa is where, yes, the Mombasa Seaport is Mombasa is where the Swahili was born. You can say, or is the home or the hub of Swahili, to say. So if Ethiopian people gonna be using the Mombasa Seaport, it is crucial that they would be speaking Swahili, because people in Mombasa do not speak English. They don't speak Amharic, they don't speak Afan or Oromo. There is no language they're going to be speaking except Swahili. So I think, and that will boost economic of Ethiopia. Let me give you another example. I was doing research and I found out that more than, I think, I'm not sure exactly the number, but high number of billions has been made from the train that take people from Djibouti to Ethiopia, and containers. Many billions has been made. It was reported a few weeks ago how much the Ethiopian train makes, how much money they make to bringing stuff from Djibouti to Ethiopia. So I was thinking, what will happen if we have another train that leaves from Addis Ababa to Nairobi, Kenya, or from Addis Ababa to Kampala, Uganda, from Addis Ababa to Juba? We will make more money. So I think that we have to look careful when it comes to the language and the economy ties, because it's very, very important to really examine that. If we don't have a language, our economy will always be low.
Yeah, I think that's why we are looking, or we are needing for Chinese and English language globally, because we need it for bargaining and economic perspective and other things. Anyways, I hope that would be better if everybody can speak and communicate with Swahili so as to speed up the ongoing integration across East Africa. Let us proceed to the next question, Imani. Yes. As you have told me, you come from America 7 months ago, and then you have stayed here for 7 months here in Addis Ababa. Your main job is to advocate Swahili. Yes. So, can you please tell me the role you have played so far in advocating Swahili here in Addis Ababa, including the challenges?
Yes, we have done a lot of things. I can say I'm actually excited to actually say thank you to our team. We have done much work. The first one we have done is to teach Swahili. We are teaching Swahili. My students are now teaching Swahili. Really? My first students I taught Swahili are now teaching Swahili. So
maybe how long does it take just to speak?
Okay, I did not give you the whole details about Swahili. What is Swahili? Let me explain to my fellow Ethiopians who possibly do not know about Swahili. Because when you ask how long does it take, Swahili is not ethnic language. So there is no one ethnic called Swahili. That's why I always stop people when they say Swahilinya. Because when you say Swahilinya, people will possibly understand that it is a ethnic language.
An ethnic background.
Yes, there is no Swahili. I always tell people, please, when you talk about Swahili in Amharic, use Swahili Kwankwa.
A collection of all languages.
It is something like that. It is more than 70% is Bantu languages together. Bantu languages are possibly the biggest languages in Africa, and then there is Semitic in there, and then there is Farsi there, there is Persian, there is German there. Like school we have is called Schule, it's from Germany. We have other words we took from Portuguese, and is that kind of language. So it's the combination of many words taken from different places. For instance, here I have Makasi in Amharic, which is the one the season you use to cut things. So in Swahili it's called Mukasi. So you can see that it's picking words from different places. So Swahili is actually, the first thing is a combination of many African languages and some outside of African languages. Number two, Swahili is the easiest language to learn. Because it took words from every language, so it makes people who come to learn the Swahili be comfortable and be more easily to actually add, because there is already some words in Swahili from our original indigenous African languages. And that's why we're actually pushing Swahili, because we believe that Swahili will not end our indigenous languages. Instead, it will support our indigenous languages. Because when you see how English or French or Portuguese or other languages has ended or make our languages extinct, you can see that if we don't be careful, more of our indigenous language will be gone. So Swahili is easiest language to learn in Africa. I'm not saying in all over the world, because maybe there's other languages. But if you are African, you speak indigenous language, any indigenous language in Africa, Swahili is easier for you to learn. It should possibly take anyone no more than 2 months. If you completely say, I'm going to learn Swahili every day, in 2 months you should be able to speak Swahili very well. It depends where you are. If you are from like South Africa or Zimbabwe or like Congo, DRC or Cameroon, it may take you maybe 2 or 3 weeks. But
maybe focusing on your role you have played so far, can you please tell me to what extent you have played so as to advocate the Swahili language in Ethiopia? I know like you have opened a Swahili language school here in Addis.
Yes, that's one.
Yeah, just tell me the extent you have played.
Yeah, the second one we have done beside opening Swahili class, we have started a movement that is, we explain Swahili to Ethiopian people, because Ethiopian does not come to learn Swahili unless you explain to them what is Swahili. So we explain Swahili, give them the whole information they need about Swahili. The third one is to have events. We do have events that promote Swahili, Swahili food, Swahili culture, and so on. And finally, we advocate Swahili to the government, to the organization, to African Union as well. I think we also have TVs. We put out news in Swahili and other programs in Swahili here in Ethiopia, which is the first thing we have done. No one has ever had those activities. I think so far that's what we have done. But we also we register a non-profit organization to cover us so we can be legally represented.
Very good. I hope individually or in a group you have played your own share. But moving to the next question, what do you think, or what is expected from the government of Ethiopia so as to advocate Swahili language for Ethiopians as well for the whole region?
I think this question I would possibly answer this in dividing in groups or categories, because there is what we expect from Ethiopian government in whole, and there's what we expect from East Africa region and Central Africa or South Africa and whole Africa in general. So starting from here in Ethiopia, the first thing we are hoping and we are pushing is that Ethiopia will adopt Swahili. In other words, is that we want Ethiopia to teach Swahili from primary school to universities. Swahili should be taught in Ethiopia. I think this should have been done since 1963, by the way. When we were talking about the unity of Africa, you cannot unite Africa unless there is a language.
So I think the Minister of Education of Ethiopia is listening, so they will consider it.
Yes, so people who are in Department of Education, they need to teach Swahili. It is unseen that the Addis Ababa University, for instance, they are teaching Chinese, they are teaching Italian, they are teaching French most of the time and English, but they are not teaching our unified language, which is Swahili. In fact, they're not even teaching our other languages from Africa anyways. They don't even teach, I think they only teach maybe Amharic, Afan Oromo maybe, and Tigrinya. I am not sure for that, but for sure, I know that they are not teaching any other African language from outside of Ethiopia. So we want Swahili to be taught from primary school to university here in Ethiopia. That's the first thing we are looking for. Number two, we want, this one goes to Addis Ababa Mayor and the Addis Ababa leadership. We want area called Swahili in Ethiopia. We have Piasa, we have Arat Kilo, we have 60 Kilo, we have Marcato, we have Kazanches, we have Magananya, Bore, and so on. We need area that is called Swahili to recognize the language and the people as well. By the way, the Ethiopian Swahili community, our organization, is the only diversity community in Ethiopia with people from Somalia, Comoros, Uganda, Congo, Burundi, Rwanda, Tanzania, Kenya, South Sudan. Did I forget any country? I don't know. But we are the only diversity community here in Ethiopia. So we need a place that to recognize us that we exist. Yeah, that is number two. Number three, from Addis Ababa government, we need a building. It's called Swahili building. The Swahili building is a place where we will honor our people who are our heroes, Swahili heroes. That's one. Number two is a place where we will have all Swahili books. Look here, we don't have any book is written in Swahili at all. And there is so many books that are very helpful to the unity of Africa, to the economy of Ethiopia, to the economy of every country in Africa, to the unity of our own people, and how can we improve our education system, all of that, and culture and traditionals. They are wrote in Swahili. So we need those books to be brought here in Ethiopia and possibly be translated. So we need a building that will host that. We need a place where you can, if you want to go eat Swahili food, you can go too. Of course, Swahili food is a lot of different kind of food, but we need a place where you can eat those food. That is a building we want from Ethiopian government. We don't want space because we cannot build the space. If they give the building to Africa Union, if they give a building to United Nations, if they give building to embassies or African embassies,
so why don't they give us Swahili?
Why don't they give Swahili building? Okay, so we need a Swahili building, and we are ready to manage that.
I hope the concerned bodies listen for it, and
Yes.
they will respond.
So that is another thing. For back to Ethiopian government, again, we need Swahili Day in Ethiopia to recognize the day of Swahili. That one, we will definitely work on it and have Swahili Day to be recognized.
Just to create awareness?
Yes, so that people can know, hey, you know what, there is Swahili. What is Swahili? Because if you ask people around here,
I think this program is the beginning by itself.
yes, it is definitely. It is a good beginning to actually push those information out. People will know what is Swahili, because most of people don't know. I was asking people, people ask me, what is Swahili? And I say, why don't you ask your teacher? Why don't you live in Ethiopia? There is Africa Union since 1963, and you don't know about Swahili?
Yeah, that was my next question, Emmanuel.
Yes.
As you know, Addis Ababa is a seat of African Union and many international organizations. So, despite the Ethiopian government, what is expected from the African Union to promote or advocate Swahili, or to make it a working language of the Union by itself? Please give us your recommendation.
Yeah, so for the African Union, we possibly need three things only from African Union, and they are very crucial. The first one we need from African Union, we want all country members of African Union to adopt Swahili. The same way I say Ethiopia to adopt Swahili, it means that all members of African Union need to teach Swahili from primary school to universities. That is the first one. Number two, we need all the activities going on in African Union to be recorded and reported in Swahili. If someone stand and speak to African people, about African people, they should speak in the language that we understand. And I'm so sad and sorry because we are having our interview in English. Hopefully you guys are gonna translate this interview to the language people can understand as, the local languages here. So we need all record in African Union to be done in Swahili. If someone stand there, someone will translate. If you can speak Swahili, someone will translate. That is number two. Number three, which is the last one. We want any activity they do, when they finish, they need to go back to their home countries and report or tell people what they were doing in African Union. Because most of our citizens in Africa have no idea whatsoever what African Union is doing at all. So when they go back home, if there was any activity, if there is any decision they have made, they need to go back to their home countries and tell the citizens, hey, this is what we have done from African Union. We were in Addis Ababa, now we are coming back home. This is what we were talking about, this is what we decided. And people can be aware of African Union, because African Union has not been seen on play field when it comes to the unity of Africa or anything. People, we don't know. Average citizens don't know anything about African Union. So I think those are the three things only we want from African Union. Once they've completed that, Africans, we will be better, and I believe that it will be time to unite.
Sure, very nice. Yeah, I am about to conclude my question, but the last time I think you have organized an event focusing on Swahili advocacy. Can you please tell me about that event?
Yes, our event, it was last Saturday, which is in...
I think it was Sunday.
It was last Sunday,
Yeah.
pardon. Yes, thank you. It was last Sunday. Our event has three main reasons. The reason one was to announce Ethiopian Swahili National Day. We chose and we announced that we will be celebrating Ethiopian Swahili National Day on January 25th of each year. So January 25th, we will be celebrating Ethiopian Swahili National Day. Why did we choose that? Because that is the day Her Excellent President of Ethiopia, Sahle Zawadi, she went to Tanzania and she met with the former president of Tanzania, John Joseph Pombe Magufuli, the one who passed away possibly 100 days maybe ago. And she accepted that they would be teaching Swahili in Ethiopia.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's a great news.
Yes, so when she announced it, then we decided that the day she announced it is the day we will be putting Ethiopian Swahili National Day. So we announced openly that, or we launched Ethiopian Swahili National Day. That was the first thing. The second thing we did, it was to bring people who speak Swahili in Ethiopia from different countries, as I said, so they can have Swahili food. We had Swahili food, we cooked a lot of Swahili food on that day, and also cloves. As you can see, we have, this is Swahili cloves. We had Swahili cloves there too as well, and the Swahili music. So that was the second one. And the last one was to launch the idea of teaching Swahili as well. So those were the reason why we actually have prepared a Swahili event last week.
I hope it will be very successful. Finally, let me give you a chance because this program is reachable for many embassies here in Addis Ababa and different international organizations. So can you please, any message you would like to deliver finally, anything you missed?
Yes, the first thing I want to say thank you to the countries, these foreign countries, to adopt Swahili. The first one is Botswana. The leaders of Botswana country, we say thank you. As a Swahili advocates, we say thank you from our heart. The leaders of South Africa, we say thank you. And the leaders of Namibia, we say thank you for adopting Swahili. And the leaders of Rwanda as a country, we say thank you for adopting Swahili. That's one. Number two, I would love to talk to countries that have not adopted Swahili. I want to tell them that this is the time. This is the waking up call. If we think of unity of Africa or to develop Africa for any reason, we must have a unified language. So I want to call them and so they can adopt Swahili or they can pass regulation to teach Swahili in their countries. And finally, I want to say something to our fellow Ethiopians. Thank you so much for hosting us, having us, our Ethiopian fellow friends and everyone and government as well. You are very, very kind. And we want you also to pass the regulation to teach Swahili and so people can have access to Swahili language and Swahili culture so they can travel maybe from Ethiopia to Tanzania and then Botswana and then all to South Africa. I think those are the things I want to say, but I also want to say that we have also launched the Swahili Heroes. In Amharic they say Swahili Jignas. Swahili Jignas, so we have Swahili Heroes as well. You will see them who they are. Most of those people who are Swahili heroes are not Swahili speakers actually. They are people who actually sacrifice for themselves for Swahili language. Again, those are the things I would like to talk to my fellow Ethiopians and fellow Africans who will watch our interview. Thank you.
The pleasure is mine for coming here at the studio. What viewers, today I have invited a guest from United States of America who has been here in Addis Ababa for the last 7 months in advocating Swahili. We have raised a lot of issues regarding the economic and social importance of Swahili language, especially for the Horn and East Africa region. I am Wagaye Muluna, the presenter and producer of the program. Until I come yet with another issue next time, good night. Stay tuned with other programs of Addis Television. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much. Okay.